Hey, this is Julian from the Binary Lab, and in this video I'm going to be talking about best times to trade. So this question came up many times in the comments to my previous videos, as well as messages to my Binary Lab page on Facebook. So if you didn't know where that is, it's facebook.com/the Binary Lab page. So if you have questions about the Binary Lab or your question on binary options trading, you're most welcome to head on over to facebook.com/the Binary Lab page to ask your questions about binary options trading. And if it's if a question, either me or one of my admins will reply the question to you, so to help you along the way. And for any common question, just like today, I'll be answering in a video just like this. So let's proceed with answering this question on what are times to avoid, what are the best times to trade binary options trading. So are there better times or worse times? Well, the best times to trade would be when there's a reasonable amount of movement. And most of the time, that is just about any time. But the times to avoid is lunch times. So the best times to avoid during trading, lunch times. Go to Google, all right, type in Forex market hours in my local time zone. So Forex market hours in my local time zone. And it's going to tell you, there are going to be plenty of websites that come up that you can select your local time zone. It's going to tell you in your time zone. Let's say Australian market is from this time to this time. Japan is from this time to this time. London is from this time to this time. Europe is from this time to this time, and New York is from this time to this time. And the overlaps are during this times and this time to this times. Overlaps are great because there's a lot of exchange going on. But beware of lunch times as well as tea breaks. Lunch times would be the main ones to avoid, such as let's say 11 to 2 or 11 to 1. Most of the time 11 to 1 is good enough. But at the same time, lunchtime is not enough because when there's tea break. And also, alright, one thing to do is this. One thing to take note is that when there's an event on the market, high key news event, many times for half an hour, 45 minutes, or 1 hour after, there's going to be a huge movement. And after that, you find that for the rest of the day, it goes stale. Okay, the reason for this is because big fund managers from the banks and institutions, as well as commodity traders, people doing spot futures, they are actually looking out for these big events to ride a big movement or capture a big movement, capture a big reversal or a breakout following a news announcement. And once they have achieved their profit target for the day, they take a tea break that extends to the end of the day, basically, where they're not doing anything whatsoever. So you must be thinking, alright, it's kind of confusing, so you're telling me that stay off lunch times, beware of tea breaks, but at the same time, there can be days that where there's a big piece of news, where it can go stale from tea break to the end of the session, or even to the end of the day. Oh yeah, and also I even forgot to tell you as well, that if there is a FOMC meeting coming up, very often for a few hours leading up to an FOMC or a few hours leading up to a non-farm payroll, there also can be very stale price action. So what do we do? Alright, I have good news for you. There's one simple way that you can actually get out of this, and that is to use a RSI chart. Regardless of whether you use any trading platform, okay? As in for a price feed. Some people like to use tradingview.com, some people like to use NetDania, some people like to use MetaTrader 4. MetaTrader 4 has apps for both the desktop as well as the phone, so does NetDania. I like to use NetDania a lot, but today I'm going to be showing you MT4. And what I've done is I've actually applied a simple RSI filter onto the chart. Alright, so what does RSI do? Actually, if I could manipulate the levels, I would actually put in 85 and 15. 85 and 15 are, in my opinion, some of the best levels to have on your RSI. But you can also manually do that too. You can manually add lines onto your chart to mark out, let's say, like 85 and 15. Right? Why 85 and 15? I would say that 85, okay, if it does go up past 70, and you will also get a level over here as well. If you get like 85, it means that the market has been going up for a period of time. It's actually overbought. And if it's gone below 15, is that market's going down for a period of time, it's actually oversold. And what does that mean for you? Okay, when it stays within, I'm going to zoom out now. I'm going to zoom out, maybe go to a different time frame. I'm going to click on to M1 perhaps. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that, in fact, you can even use the 15 and 75s. Then the reason for that is because if you are just, okay, see, I'm just scrolling the chart back, and there will be times when it goes beyond. There will be times where it goes beneath. But when it stays within the range, around a 50 line for expired period of time, or just fails to break either top or bottom for a period of time, it can be observed that the market is moving within a channel. So if you see that for a period of time, it's just sticking within a range, you can see that even on the main chart, it's not really breaking new highs or lows, and you're going to get something like this. Okay, so this shows you that there's a very limited amount of movement, and even if you want to do a put or call, you run the risk of going into a support resistance or a very tight price channel. So I personally am more of a reversal trader and a breakout trader as well. I don't do channel trading. I don't encourage that because we don't know when the channel is going to end. But if I trade a channel, a breakout from a channel, that one I can see that. And I use different indicators in the Binary Lab to teach people how to do that. And when I see that the price has gone up for too much or down for too much, I know that I can take a reversal kind of trade. So I take a lot of breakout trades and reversal trades. And RSI is one very powerful tool. Like I said, when RSI stays comfortably within the 30-70 range, failing to hit above 15 or 85, it is not really, the market is not driven enough to want to do something. It's just the same as let's say you're in your comfort zone. Imagine that let's say if you okay, what would be a good analogy? Supposing that phone bills, right? Like if you forgot to pay your phone bill, you can send a reminder in your phone bill. Okay, they're not doing squat. It's going to take at least 2-3 reminders before they want to cut my phone bill. Until then, I'm sitting pretty. I don't actually have to do it right now. But let's say when they cut your phone service because you didn't pay your bill for a couple of months, would you do something? So when the market is overbought, like above 85, beneath 15 on the RSI, it's just the same as phone line just got cut. Market is very motivated to do some corrective action to put it back on track. Corrective action meaning reversal, retracement, so even if you didn't actually use market hours to follow when it's the best and worst times, you can also use RSI. This is my tip for today. Very, very powerful tool. At the same time, like I also want to share with you, the latest method. One of the methods inside a triple threat trading system that I'm actually teaching members of the Binary Lab right now. And in this method, I actually use one very powerful indicator to actually help people identify, to take a trade even before a breakout from a trend, a breakout from a consolidation happens, or when even before a reversal is about to emerge. So this is a very, very powerful tool that I've been showing people successfully over a period of time inside the Binary Lab, and that actually is quite a game changer because sometimes even with a stale market, there's been times I believe that any trading method that really works will work in the toughest times to trade, which is when it's holding up before a piece of news. Like I said, the market goes very stale before FOMC. Going into a lunch hour. The worst lunch hour is Asian lunch hour because nothing happens, almost nothing happens. But when it does happen, there's a big, there's going to be a sizable movement outside from a almost stale period, and that is the point that we catch. So RSI is one powerful tool. For those of you who are looking to venture more into binary options trading and to learn how to use some of these methods that I shared about to actually get some of these big moves before they happen. I'm talking about getting 7-pip wins during a lunch hour on a 5-minute trade. I'm talking about getting a 17-pip win within anything between 5 and 20 minutes on the Euro Swiss franc pair that typically moves next to squat. Okay, zilch. Hardly moves. There's a lot of oscillation, but the movements are usually very tiny. Be able to get 17-pip moves on Euro Swiss franc currency using some of these methods. If you're interested to know more, you can hit on to click that link to join the Binary Lab. Registration is free, and then my admin will contact you on how you can proceed to finish your membership. At the same time, if you have other questions about the Binary Lab, I'm looking to answer your questions too. Post your questions that you want to have answered in the comments to this video. At the same time, you're also welcome to go to my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/thebinarylab page. Remember, RSI, you can use that. It's super powerful. This was one of the first indicators that I learned back in my forex trading days that I still use today. Default levels are 70 and 30. I like to use 15 and 85. Anything that's beyond 85, lesser than 15, is just like when your phone line gets cut, you want to make some corrective action. Market also wants to make some corrective action, and those are some high percentage times that you can go in even without knowing when is lunch hour, when is tea break, when is news, and still get some nice movement in your binary options trading. I hope this helps you out. This is Julian Wong from the Binary Lab, signing out. Goodbye.